Back again. Today I'm going to talk about how I looked at the Twilight Saga when I first watched it versus how I look at it now after I rewatched it back in August. So let's go. So, when I first watched it when it came out, I was 9 to 12 because there were 5 movies over 5 years. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn 1 and 2. So, over time, I grew up watching it. At first, basically this is just me saying how I was staunchly Team Edward at first, but now I kind of understand where Jacob's coming from. But I still hate New Moon. That movie was still the worst of the 5. I don't care. Even though I like Jacob's character now and I understand him, I still don't like New Moon. It still sucks. That movie still sucks. It's boring. It's really boring. Out of the 5, it's really boring. Then you'd be like, but why'd you rewatch it with, New Moon? Why'd you rewatch them all? Because if you're gonna rewatch them, you have to rewatch them in order, and you have to rewatch them all. Sadly. So even the one you hate, you have to rewatch. So that's the way that one is. But at first, loved the first movie. Already was Team Edward from the jump. And I didn't like the way they presented Jacob's character in New Moon. And how they had Edward leave and all that. Didn't like it. Because her character wanted Edward. That's all she wanted. Yeah, she was friends with Jacob. She was friends with the Quileutes, but she didn't want Jacob. She wanted Edward. And to me, the way I looked at it as a 10-year-old when New Moon came out, I was like, really? Okay, yeah. I didn't have the life experience to be like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. I understand what's going on here. No, I was just like, hey, you POS, don't go after her. She wants what she wants. She don't want you. Even though you are kind of trying to protect her from offing herself because Edward left and all that. You still are a POS trying to bird dog Edward, but whatever. So, at first, yeah. As a 10-year-old, I didn't understand. I really didn't understand. And then Eclipse was a fight. Basically, well, there wasn't a fight between Edward and Jacob, but there were tension. There was tension. But the Cullens somehow got the Quileutes to help them in fights. Which is crazy, because... And that tells you how good of a character and a person Edward is. Why? Because he wanted to make a truce with them. Even though there were past history problems between them, which is why they were separated until these movies came out. At least that was the backstory, the headcanon. So you think, okay, again, this is the reason why I'm Team Edward. He's good. He wants them to help. Even when Jacob tried to steal his girl, he still wants them to help. Wow. What a man. Or what an undead man, but what a man. This is why I'm Team Edward. But, and then Breaking Dawn was the same. He finally did get married to Bella in that movie, the first one. Then, ended up getting her pregnant with Renesmee. Which, that is a little bit of a wild storyline. I'm not going to try to spoil anything besides the stuff that everybody probably already knows if you haven't watched it. I'm sure people know the big points of like, yeah, we get it. Point being is then Jacob goes his own way after Renesmee is born. The Quileutes wanted to kill the baby. Okay, yeah, maybe I have to kind of spoil it. I don't know. But Jacob, even though he thought the baby had killed Bella, which it technically did, she got changed as a couple of, like, she got changed after it came out, but then it took over a couple of days later. And that's where Breaking Dawn Part 2 starts, is her waking up. But Jacob imprints on Renesmee to save her, because he feels attraction to Renesmee and still loves Bella, so he protects Bella's daughter. Yeah. So, but he goes his own way. So he moves on and goes his own way and does that. And then the best part of this all is that when Bella wakes up and then part of the coven snitches on them for Renesmee, the Quileutes help the Cullens fight the Volturi. And that's where... Oh, and by the way, that whole fight... well, whatever. Was a dream sequence at the end. Was a dream sequence. Okay. The movie's 10 years old by now. Well, 10 to 7 years old by now. Well, 12 to 8 years old by now, by the time it is. So honestly, what's the harm? Y'all either know or you don't know. What's the harm? Y'all either know or you don't know. But if you want to watch it, at least you know. Sorry. If you want to watch it, well, at least I gave you a reason to watch. But that's what happened in the movie, and that's the way I looked at it at first. But now, after rewatching it I was 19 when I rewatched it, because it was August, I was still 19. And you're like, why'd you not make a video about this 5 months ago, 7 months ago? Because honestly, I kind of kept it in the chamber, because it's not like I knew quarantine was going to happen, but honestly, I really just couldn't be arsed. And I'm like, oh, now quarantine happened, at least I have it in the chamber. Hey, I'm smarter than you. Hey, that worked out great. And this is the last VEDA video that isn't going to be a countdown or a retrospective. I made it! 3 more videos. Hey, I made it. I know what I'm doing till the end of the month. Hey, I made it. Smart. But, let's get to the point. So, when it comes to New Moon, even though that movie still sucks and it's still boring, I understand why Jacob was doing what he was doing. He really loved Bella. And I felt that. Because at that point in my life, yeah, this is getting a little bit personal. There was somebody I really loved that I thought liked me, but not that much. Or wanted me to change more to be with me. She didn't want me to be the current me. And what I mean by that is she wanted me to be more religious, less thirsty of a person. I'm already good, but I am a little bit thirsty, and at that point, I really didn't care about religion. So, but now, since I got closer to God, sad part is I've kind of moved on. I've moved on. That's the saddest part about this, is when I get closer to God, I've moved on. Still friends, but I've definitely moved on. You're like, yeah, for somebody you'll never get. The world works in mysterious ways, my friend. The world works in mysterious ways. If Pete Davidson could get Ariana Grande and I'm at least 2 times hotter than him, I think I could get somebody who's way less famous and actually hotter than Ariana Grande. And I'm not as insane, so there you go. If you follow me on Twitter, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't follow me on Twitter, nobody cares, okay? If you don't follow me on Twitter or Instagram, especially Twitter, nobody cares. I'm not going to enlighten you. I'm not going to enlighten you. Hell, I've probably dropped those wrestling reviews. I've probably dropped her name like 20 times. Watch those. You'll figure it out. Or just read my Twitter. Easy. Figure it out. Figure it out. Or read my Twitter. Figure it out. But point being is, at that point, I felt Jacob's pain more than I did at 10 years old. Because I was 19. I felt I was in the situation that they were in the movie. Just got out of high school. I felt and I loved somebody that didn't love me as much back. Because I wasn't perfect for them, even though honestly I was. But in their eyes, I had to change just a little bit to be perfect for them. And I understand that. I get that. And they didn't want me because I didn't check all the boxes for them. Instead of checking 10, I checked 7, 8. But that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. And because of that, that person didn't want, well, that girl didn't want me. But the craziest part is we were friends the whole time. Even when I made some moves that were a little bit, at first, a little bit too fast and too far, we still were friends. Yeah, I stayed away for a couple of months so I didn't get slapped in the face, but I talked to her again, and then we were still friends. And she realized I needed to be changed for the better. And she tried. But I tried as well, but I never turned out as good as she wanted me to turn out. Until she finally went to college. And I found God. Well, I always was a Christian, but I wasn't as close to God as I am now. But it took quarantine and reflecting to myself to do that. But as soon as I did that, I moved on. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Still friends, but sorry about that. Sorry about that. Crazy how things change. You really should have taken 8 out of 10 boxes me instead of 10 out of 10 boxes me. Shouldn't you have? Woo! No hate, no hate, no hate. No hate. No disrespect at all. Just saying. You're gonna, and then like people are just like, you're gonna have to settle, you know that, right? Let me dream. Let me dream about being the next Pete Davidson first. Let me dream. Let me dream. I don't want to think about settling for a while. All right? Let me dream. Let me dream. So yeah, after rewatching the Twilight Saga back in August, yeah, I understand Jacob's point of view a lot more. I'm still Team Edward, but I understand his point of view. So, that's basically this video. Is me saying how I understand Jacob's point of view from now on. And that's how it changed. How the Twilight Saga changed for me. So, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. Tomorrow, I got a countdown to the top 10 defensive midfielders in MLS right now. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.